Hi, and welcome to our webinar. I know so many of my fellow small business owners and large business owners are really struggling right now with how to keep their business moving forward, and for sure, how to make sure it doesn't go backwards during these crazy times. And as a coach, I've already been on the phone with so many of my clients, helping them think about things differently and think outside the box. So that is first and foremost. We're just going to dive right in. I'm going to give you so much content in this hour, and we are also going to give you a worksheet afterwards to download and create a roadmap for you to map out your success over the next 2-3 weeks and keep your business moving forward. You've got this. You can do this. And I was just talking to one of my coaching clients last night that when you hit a situation like we are all in right now, we have the opportunity to take two different roads. We can take the road of anxiety and fear, or we can take the road of secure and sound mind and driving forward and thinking about options. And unfortunately, you can't be on those two roads at the same time. They go in completely different directions. And what's worse is you're here, and this is the road of fear and anxiety. This is the road of confidence and ideas. And the longer you go down this road of fear and anxiety, the longer distance it is for you to get back on the road of thinking forward and moving forward and going towards solutions. You won't find solutions on the road of fear and anxiety. You will only find solutions if you're traveling this road. There are certain things we don't have control over, but there are things that we do have control over. And so the first thing that we're going to do, this is 3 strategies to protect your business right now. And the first one is think outside the box. We need to think outside the box. I know a lot of you have heard restaurants. They're doing, they've taken all their wait staff and they've turned them into delivery drivers. That's thinking outside the box. There's also restaurants that have set up situations for the local office buildings. They've called all of the local businesses around them and said, look, we will bring food to your office. We will cater, no catering charges. We'll cater and bring food to your offices. So there are restaurants that are still thriving right now during this terrible time because they thought outside the box and they executed quickly. And that, we'll get to that a little bit later. So thinking outside the box, what can your business do? I was just consulting with one of my clients last night. Again, I've been on the phone consulting and coaching for the last week. And one of my clients owns a dance studio. Obviously, no one's coming to the dance studio. And he has these really large groups of women that come every Tuesday and Thursday morning for a class. And they are obviously, he's not making any of that money right now. And he's at risk for them canceling their memberships to the studio. So I coached him through an entire way that he can start doing his classes virtually. He didn't even think about. And he can start doing his classes virtually. And he now, with what I coached him about, is going to have the opportunity to make even more money and attract more clients after all this craziness is over. So again, there is a way. You just have to get off this road and think outside the box and think about what your business can do. Who can you partner with? If you are in an industry, who can you partner with? Who can you take? And they're struggling as well. And they're struggling as well. And you all can band together and you can create a one-stop shop per se. You can do all sorts of different things if you get off the road of fear and anxiety and you start just getting your peace of mind back and start thinking and start dreaming and start having vision. And one of the great things to do is just start brainstorming, start doing a brain dump of everything, any idea that comes to mind. And also prayer. Prayer will bring you to a place of peace instantaneously. That's where I need to go whenever I'm letting fear or anxiety get me off track. And so whatever you need to do, whether it's meditation, whether it's prayer, make sure you stay off this road, because this road only leads to what you don't want happening in your business. So that is the first aspect of keeping your business on track, is start thinking outside the box. Okay, so let's recap. Thinking outside the box. Again, we talked about partnering with other businesses, being a one-stop shop. Also, you can offer gift certificates. Even if it's normally your business doesn't do gift certificates, offer that. You have an email base of customers and clients that you can send an email to and asking them to potentially purchase your product or service ahead of time, and because you're doing so, you'll give them a great discount. Again, this is not going to last forever, and most of us know this, and so offering your clients an opportunity to buy your product or service at a discount right now is a great way to bring in revenue. Also, a lot of you are having to work from home, so life hacks to help you work from home, especially if you have children. One of the most incredible life hacks that I put in one of my online programs, Calm the Chaos, is have a telephone toy box. And I got this from a dear friend of mine, Janine Avila, and she's also a business coach, an entrepreneur, raised 6 children and homeschooled them, and ran her own very successful business. So she had a thing called the telephone toy box. And when she was on a phone call, she had a toy box that was the only time her kids could play with what was in that toy box. And that toy box contained the best of the best toys. And it was, understood that when mom was on the telephone or dad was on the telephone, whichever you are, that it needed to be quiet in the house. And that's, they were able to play with those toys and stay quiet. So I know strategies right now of working from home with your kids in the house is very challenging. Hopefully that's a great life hack for you. Also, how can you turn your business into a delivery service or consultation? I have coaching, and I've been doing coaching for 25 plus years, but all of my in-person and live events for the last 60 days have been canceled, and so my coaching has gone through the roof. So how can you take what you do and how you serve people and take it online or over the phone? How can you create a delivery service of what you do? Again, this is all part of thinking outside the box. So all these strategies are, we're going to have this webinar up, so if I'm talking too quickly for you, you can go back and replay this webinar over and over and over again. But I wanted you to have a list of thinking outside the box. So we're going to move on to the next strategy. Okay, here's our second strategy. Don't cancel, do remotely. And during this whole webinar, please, communicate with me. Post comments, post questions, post anything that you think might be helpful for other people, ways that you're thinking outside the box. Any of the topics that we're talking about, let's definitely have a brain dump and share and mastermind amongst each other. And if you're stuck, ask, say, this is my business. Anyone have any ideas? You would be amazed at how when people are thinking about your problem, it's so clear. But when we're thinking about our own problem, things get so overwhelming. So let's move on to our next strategy. Don't cancel, do remotely is something that so many businesses are doing. And for those of you that are over 35, over 40, a lot of you shy away from technology, especially those of us over 50. We shy away from technology, and technology has gotten so user-friendly. I want you to understand you don't necessarily need to cancel everything you're doing. You don't need to cancel board meetings. You don't need to cancel imperative training events that you need to do for your people, especially if your business is one of the businesses that is exploding right now because something that you're doing is a necessity. You can do things remotely, and you can get them done very, very efficiently and very easily without a lot of tech knowledge. And honestly, if you can find a millennial, it's so intuitive for them. If for some reason, I don't know, it's been raised on video games or whatever the case might be, or that technology was just at their hands from such a young age. So if you're struggling with technology, find somebody in your neighborhood that you can call them and ask them. You're going to send them a website, or you're going to send them an access, and have them figure it out, and have them putting the meeting together remotely, or anything. You can do things remotely. You don't need to cancel. A lot of meeting planners right now they're just scrambling to try and help their companies do meetings remotely. So if you're a small business owner and you don't have a meeting planner and you need one, get one, because they will be able to help you in so many ways. If you've got an event coming up in the next 30 days or 60 days that is 100 or more people, there are platforms that meeting planners have access to that they can actually do check-in, registration, share notes, share PowerPoints, slides, and have you or your trainers, your speakers, be brought in remotely and communicate the entire event and broadcast it privately. There are all sorts of software systems that are available for you to do your events. So if it's an important event, especially if you want to communicate with your entire company nationally or globally, and help them put their fears to rest, help them know what to do during this time after you've gone through the first step and thought outside the box and figured out what your next game plan is, and you want to share this with your entire company, there are ways to do that. Grab yourself a great meeting planner and get them involved with how to do things remotely as opposed to in person. Now, if you're a small business owner and you need to keep in touch with your team and with your company, everyone can work remotely, and there are a lot of great options for you as well. And again, all very user-friendly. I'm 51, not a techie, and I can do most of these that I'm going to share with you. And you're going to screw it up at first. I will never forget, and it's on my Facebook page. As a matter of fact, if you ever want to go look at it, the first time I ever tried a certain platform with a company that I won't recommend to you because we just ditched them. They couldn't get their act together. But it was amazing that when I first did my first broadcast, it was actually upside down. But that's okay. If you screw it up, it actually would probably just endear your people to you, knowing that you're trying your best. So don't be afraid of the technology. Right now, we all just want to be on the same team, moving in the right direction towards success for us, our company, and our people. So don't be afraid of technology. So here are a couple ones. First and foremost, and all the major universities are using this for the most part, is Zoom. Zoom is a fantastic platform. There is a free option, there is a $15 option, and it goes up from there. If you are in education right now, I just wanted to let you know, a couple days ago, I don't know if it's still, by the time this webinar goes live, I don't know if it'll still be the case, but the CEO of Zoom offered their packages, their larger packages, to educators for free, because they want the education system to be able to have their classes and their students to be able to get the information. So Zoom is a fantastic platform, and it's easy to share PowerPoints, it's easy to share slides, it's easy to share your, you can have your computer hooked up to it, and you can share your screen of your computer, and you can do all of your meetings remotely. You can do all of your strategy sessions remotely. And it's a fantastic, fantastic platform for even after all this has gone away and you want to be able to communicate and do great things remotely. That's a great platform. Another one that I would really highly recommend is Crowdcast. podcast is an opportunity for you to create a space, and you can actually go live on Facebook Live as well, but you can create a space where you can have all of your teams come in, they check in, there's comments where they can talk and you can discuss, and you can also bring in somebody else to talk. Same thing with Zoom. You can have different participants, and you can set it up where it's just when you bring them in, or if they start speaking, the screen automatically goes to them, and so everybody can see who's speaking. But it's a fantastic platform. Another one is Citrix. Citrix is an opportunity for mainly corporate businesses to have their employees access their computers from home. So again, if you want to send your people home, or your people are working from home, and their mainframe is at work and they don't have access to all their documents or all their everything, Citrix is a great platform to be able to have literally the exact same information that's on your employee laptop or computer at the office. It can mirror that for their computer at home. Now, there's different security issues that you want to make sure you don't let any very secure material or information. If that's a department that has to stay in-house, then you want to take that under consideration. But the majority of the people in your office can work remotely. Literally, with this platform, they have their exact same computer at home as they do at the office. So that's a great one for companies. Another one is speakerengage.com. Engage is it's an opportunity for it's used by meeting planners. So if you are a meeting planner and you don't know about that, you probably do, but it is an opportunity for you to now utilize this platform for registration, check-in for events that maybe 100 or more people. That is a fantastic way to make sure that you're getting the right people into your conference and the wrong people are not in your conference. And so Speaker Engage is a very well versed platform, and you can use it to do meetings, big meetings remotely. There's also another one called Event Power. And again, these two in particular are platforms that have been used by meeting planners for a very long time for event registration and things like that, and putting everything in one place. But they're also working really, really hard to be able to support meetings remotely. So Speaker Engage and Event Power are working diligently and working hard to do that. We also have Cisco, WebEx, YouTube, and good old Facebook. YouTube, with Cisco, WebEx, I'm not real familiar with those, but I know that corporations have been using those two platforms to do online meetings remotely for a very, very long time. So if you have a large, medium to large size business, look into Cisco and WebEx. And again, you might already have these platforms, you just haven't been utilizing them. Maybe you've had them, if you had to do a meeting remotely for someone who had to fly to Japan to do a contract, you might already have some of these and you don't even realize that you can do remote meetings and all the options that you have to do group meetings and to do all sorts of different things. You've maybe only been using your technology for one little tiny piece of the platform that you've got a ton that you can do. So you can do YouTube, you can do posting, create a private group in Facebook and just send out video messaging to your company. You can create private groups that nobody can get in. You can just invite certain people into those groups. And same thing with a YouTube channel. If your company starts a YouTube channel and you can just put out the subscribers to your company, and you can stay in touch that way. But Facebook and Facebook Live are very, very simple to use. And I would highly recommend, if you aren't comfortable with a bunch of technology, just go to the basic Facebook and create a fan page for your company. And it's very, very simple. And then you can create groups. And those groups can be open and public. If you want to have a group for your customers, you can do different coupon offerings. You can do different Facebook Lives and show people what you're doing and talk about what you're doing and get the word out there. And you can have private groups just for your employees or just for your leadership. And they're hidden. They're totally hidden. Nobody can access those groups, and any of the videos or any of the conversations will stay in that group and no one can access it. So this is a really great platform for you to communicate with your customers, communicate with your existing clientele, and also communicate with your employees. Let's get on to the next strategy. Okay, before moving on, let's recap the strategies to not cancel and be able to do remotely. So we talked about Zoom, and that's a fantastic platform, easy. Obviously the free, all the way up to the different packages determine how many people, but Zoom is going to be able to grow with you. Then you've got Crowdcast, and you can just go to all of these. We've got all the .coms right here, and so you can just go on each of these and look at their different packages and what those different packages entail and what they encompass, so that you know what's the best one for you. Then we also have Citrix, and that's the one that you can have your employees working remotely with the exact same information that's on their computer at work. You've got two that are for very large conferences. Meeting planners are the only ones that have access to these. And also, if you need a great meeting planner to partner with over this next 60, 90 days, if they don't know something, they have a resource base that can really help you with any large events or large conferences that you are going to try and do remotely. And that is Speaker Engage and Event Power. Those are the two platforms for big events. Then we also have Cisco and WebEx, that most large companies already have these platforms. So get with your rep and look into what you need to do and find out if you already have the software and you already have the platform that can handle that. And then we have YouTube and Facebook. And YouTube, again, is a fantastic opportunity for you to just get messaging out there, have a channel for your customers to be able to come and see what's going on and keep them in the loop on different offers, different things that you have going on. Talk with your customers, talk with your clients, stay connected. We'll get to that. And then also Facebook. And Facebook you can just really utilize to get your messaging out to your customers, your existing clientele, your vendors. You can have a specific private group for just your vendors. You can also have a specific private group for different departments in your company and for the whole company as an entirety. You can have as many participants in these private groups as you want, and that information will stay there and it will stay private. But you have to make sure you mark the group private. I just recently did a private group for my graduates of my workshops, and all of a sudden these random people kept showing up in the group, and I realized that I hadn't marked it private. You have to go in and make sure you mark that group private, and nobody will be able to get into that group unless they are invited. So those are some of the things we just talked about. Don't cancel, do remotely. Okay, let's move on to the third strategy, which is staying connected. Okay, everyone right now is stuck at home, or they should be. And again, you have the perfect opportunity to reach out and be right there with people. And I felt it, when a friend has FaceTimed me, or, I've gotten to the point where I'm so bored of being alone, that I will just go into a Facebook Live and just talk to whoever's out there of my clients. And you can do the same thing. You can take this opportunity to stay connected with your clientele, with your customer base, and really be a part of this whole thing that we're going through together. We're all having to navigate completely new waters. So let's make sure you're staying connected. And there's a few great ways to do that. Let's have a different color. Let's have something fun. We'll do purple. First and foremost, this is a perfect opportunity to send out thank you cards. Send out, again, with the advent of technology, very rarely do any of us get real mail anymore. So I took the opportunity a few days ago to just really send out all the people that I've done business with over the last 12 months, all of my clients, and sent them thank you cards. And again, appreciate those people during the time when, again, there's struggle. Send them appreciation and know that you value their patronage. That really sets you up to stand out when they're looking to potentially do business sooner than later. They'll choose you because, again, you're fostering that relationship. So thank you cards are a great one. Also, stay connected with things like following up with your client base, making just phone calls, reaching out. There were a lot of people that I called yesterday and just reached out. How are you doing? How are things going? Is there anything that I can help you with? And just when they would start talking to me about what they're struggling with, again, they were in that fear and anxiety mode. And I was able to see their problem without that fear and anxiety. And I was able to help them find solutions. So reaching out with just phone calls right now to your clients is really something that it could stand out and have them really want you to be in their corner forever after this whole crisis is over. So staying connected with your clients and also with your employees. Don't discount the opportunity to reach out to different employees and find out how they're doing. And maybe if it's just 5 phone calls a day, that means a lot to people. And again, when we talked about doing Facebook Lives, touching base with your people, you can't discount. There are 2 personality types, and I have a whole program about the art of communication. It talks about all the different personality types and how they react to everything, how they react in their family, how they react in a marriage, how they react in business, and how they react in crisis. And this whole online course, Art of Communication, I show where there's 2 personalities that thrive on interpersonal communication. The other 2 personalities are fine to be by themselves. They actually recharge their battery when they're by themselves. But there's 2 personalities that really get drained when they're by themselves. They charge their batteries being around other people. So the people that are in your company that are now isolated, it would mean the world to them for you to just reach out and do a Facebook Live every morning or every evening or sometime maybe lunch hour, where you're touching base and you're just being there for them. And it would really, you have no idea the impact that can have on your the mental health and sanity of your team. So phone calls or Facebook Lives. And again, you can do these Facebook Lives in those private groups that you set up, and you can just, again, reach out and they can see your face and they can feel your confidence. And there's something about a leader who has confidence that instills confidence in everyone else. General MacArthur didn't show up with his orders knowing that men would die on that hill that he was about to go take. He didn't show up to his team and say, well, guys, we got to take that hill over there, and it looks pretty crappy. Our odds aren't really, really good. No, he showed up. He showed up with confidence, knowing that they would conquer that hill, knowing that they would be successful. And that, as a leader, you have to adopt that kind of posturing. And guess what? When you're in front of your team with that kind of posturing, you will instill confidence in them. But they need to hear from you. They need to see you. They need to know everything will be okay. You can't guarantee them that, but they can know that you are doing everything in your power to make sure that their job is secure, to make sure that this company stays healthy during these uncertain times. So again, staying connected is crucial, but you have got to make sure you're in the right place before you get on that Facebook Live. No hemming and hawing, no doubt, no nothing. You are secure in knowing that you will get through this. And again, if you're not, you need me coaching. You need to talk to me and we need to strategize. That's what I'm here for. I want you to know there is a way forward. We might not know how it's going to go and how you're going to get there, but there is a way forward. And I want to help each and every one of you find that way. So let's get back to staying connected. We can also stay connected with the business people in our local community. Staying connected with those people and doing some bartering. And, there are so many different examples that you can think about. If your company needs this and they need your service, you can barter. So again, there's so many ways when you start thinking outside the box, when you start getting off the road of fear and anxiety, getting on the road of solution finding, there are so many different ways that you can barter right now and trade your services for product or services from one of your vendors that you do business with all the time. Also, just to let you know, and again, things change so quickly, but there are a lot of bankers and different financial people that right now, they are being given permission by the government to not foreclose and not, throw you out of your office space and, all these different things that was causing a lot of fear and anxiety. And so look at your local community and figure out what your resources are. The Small Business Association. Make sure you're connecting in. There are loans available right now that the government wants to get money into a small business owner's pocket as soon as humanly possible. So look into your local community, look at the resources that you have there, look at the businesses around you that you can partner with and make your product proposition or service proposition even that much better for a customer that is around you. Find a need and fill it. That's what it boils down to. Find a need and fill it. That's what I'm doing. As a coach, I am finding what my clients, what their value proposition is. And I'm helping them figure it out and what their value proposition is right now. What would someone need that you can provide? Even if it's not normally what you can provide. Maybe it's tech service. Maybe you normally don't provide tech service, but you have a whole staff of people that are really great with tech. And you can go to small companies and provide tech service to help get them all the stuff that I talked about in the last section. Companies need somebody to help them build an online course, or companies need them to help them do a Zoom or help them to do, and you can provide technical services and technical support. Even though that's not what your company normally does. Maybe your company is a telecommunications company, but right now you can help also change and shift. Tesla was just announced that they're going to be building respiratory machines. That's not what Tesla does. So again, thinking outside the box is going to only require you staying on this road of ideas and confidence and staying off this road of anxiety and fear. So staying connected is crucial. And then also thinking of others. How can you support your community? How can you come alongside? Right now in the Dallas Metroplex area, we have an incredible organization called Minnie's Food Pantry. And right now, they are struggling to feed the people who have lost their jobs. What can you do? Can you volunteer? Can you go out? And again, they're doing all sorts of great things of making sure people are social distancing, that are volunteering. They need wipes. They need all sorts of hand sanitizer. What can you do to support your local community? And again, utilize your talents and abilities to help those that have lost their jobs. And there's just no better way to have, how do I put this? To reinstill your confidence in what you're doing for your community than after when you go serve and you see the looks on the people's faces that you serve. And that has always been one of my company's mantras. It's always been one of my mantras. I've always, for the last 25 years, I've always served on a board of a charity that I am passionate about. Big Brother, Big Sister, Nancy Lieberman Charities, Bees Kids. There are charities that are dear to my heart, and I'm doing as much as I can for those charities right now, but I'm also in this time looking for opportunities that I can come alongside my fellow community members and help them. And that's really the reason for this webinar. I have talked to so many of my own clients and got them off the road of fear and anxiety and got them on the right track, that I wanted to just do this quick webinar to help some of you get off that road of fear and anxiety and give you an opportunity to stay on the road of ideas and success. So we're gonna kind of recap this real quickly, and then we're gonna move on to finish this up. There is a strategy. There is a strategy I am going to give you that I give all my coaching clients, that I walk them through this and we go into the nitty gritty and all this, but I want to give this roadmap to you for free. And we'll do that in the next section. Okay, here's the recap for staying connected. Things like thank you cards, or just thinking of you, or thank you so much for your support during these trying times. Staying connected through making phone calls to your clients, making phone calls to your employees that are stuck at home, doing Facebook Lives with your clients, and doing Facebook Lives with your employees, making sure that you are in the right frame of mind with confidence and enthusiasm and no fear of the future. Following up with your existing client base and asking if there's any way that you can be of service to them during these trying times. Barter and trade with your local community, your local businesses around you, figuring out how you can come together and become a one-stop shop type of a situation and be of service to people that are struggling right now to get whatever service that you might be able to provide. Find a need and fill it. That is the key to success in any business. Find a need and fill it. Doesn't matter if it's necessarily what your normal way of doing business is. Figure out what you can do, or what the talents that your people have can be of service to your community. And thinking of others, reaching out and helping others during this trying time, letting them know that your business, your company is right there with them on the front lines, and you're thinking about them and you're standing with them and you're doing everything that you can to support them. That's the recap for staying connected to your clients, to your customers, to your employees. It's crucial right now. Okay, at the beginning of this webinar, we talked about the two roads, and the one road of going down the road of anxiety and fear, and the road of going down of outside the box thinking and right mindset to move forward. So these two roads go in opposite different directions, and again, the longer you stay on this one road, the harder it is to get back to this road. And so I want to give you a roadmap to do that. I want to give you the highway, the expressway to get from this road to this road. And again, I wish I could coach and do online coaching with each and every one of you, but it's physically not impossible. So I want to give you this roadmap. I can't, like I do with my coaching clients, I can't walk you through all of this and help your mind think of all of these things like I do with my clients, but at least I can give you the roadmap. At least you'll have the roadmap, and maybe a trusted other business person can help walk you through it and kind of look at things from the top over it again, because they're not in the muck and the mire with you. They can kind of see other things. So this roadmap is really crucial, and we've got a worksheet for you to download as soon as this is over. We're going to give this roadmap to you, and I want you to sit and work and do a worksheet, do the work, and get yourself back on track and get off of this road and onto this road as soon as possible. So the first one is list your strengths. Go ahead and list your strengths. And again, like I said in the last section, this might not necessarily be what your main core business model has anything to do with. You might have other strengths that now that strength is needed right now out there in the marketplace. Just like Tesla, he said, okay, cars are our strength. Rocket ships are our strength. But right now, my strength in manufacturing can fulfill this need for respiratory equipment. So again, list your strengths. Just start listing them. It doesn't matter. Think outside the box, like I said, and just don't judge anything. Just free flow and list all of your strengths, everything you're good at. Go all the way back 20 years ago. What are you good at? And what possibly could take those from those strengths and move the company in a different direction? So listing your strengths. The next one is assess your assets. Assessing your assets, that means what kind of capital do you have? What kind of resources do you have that you really didn't think was a resource? Maybe you have an overabundance of something that's necessary right now, and you can turn that into liquid capital. Maybe, again, there was one point in time I hired an office admin who, I don't know what she was thinking, but she went out and bought so many of a certain office supply. I was like thinking, oh my gosh, how on earth would I ever use any of that? But there came a time where a fellow business owner needed that. They couldn't get it, and I was able to offload that at a good price for them, but it gave me liquidity for something that would have taken me years to go through. So what assets do you have right now that are in need that you don't necessarily need a lot of, but you just kind of accidentally might have stockpiled, but now you can turn into liquidity. You can turn into liquid cash that you can pay your employees with. So think about your assets. What are your hard assets? What are your financial assets? What are assets that you don't need anymore and you can liquidate through either Facebook Marketplace or online auctions or anything like that? Because again, you don't know what right now people need. And so everyone's buying what they need online. So put it on Amazon, put it on Facebook Marketplace, things that you don't need. If you are worried about liquidity, get rid of that motorcycle that you haven't ridden on in a long time and use that money for your business. Use all sorts of different things that you can get rid of right now that people still have money. A good friend of mine, her husband works for a very successful airplane company, and right now they aren't hurting for business. Wealthy people are still buying airplanes. So again, maybe you've got some old office equipment, or you have a conference table that nobody uses anymore. You can turn assets into liquidity right now, and you can do that through mainly Amazon, but also Facebook Marketplace is really, really good because it's local. You don't have to box up what you're selling and ship it halfway across the country. You can do Facebook Marketplace in your local area, and you can get liquidity happening right away. So what are your assets that you can liquidate? Also, enlist partners. and this is a thing we touched on a little bit with going through the whole road with the different steps. But again, enlist partners that can come alongside you and enhance what your offering is out to the marketplace. Also, formulate a strategy. Formulating a strategy has to be done. You as the leader, you have to have a strategy. You have to have it written out. You have to have a plan. If you don't have a plan, you plan to fail. If you fail to plan, you plan to fail. We know this. This is one of the mantras that we learned being an entrepreneur from very get-go of business. So again, you've got to formulate a strategy. Once you've listed your strengths, you've assessed your assets, you've got liquidity to do something, you're going to start doing ads on Facebook, you're going to start creating an online course, you're going to start doing an online Facebook with your clients and your customers and creating a forum, whatever it is. Again, coaching you individually is so much easier than trying to just give you ideas, but you get the point. Formulate a strategy. You have to have a clear plan. Your people need to know what that plan is. So formulate a strategy. The next one is after you've done that, you need to break that strategy into lists of different tasks that your leaders need to accomplish. And this is not the time to micromanage. This is the time where it's execute. I think it's ready, fire, aim. We don't have time to sit and aim and make sure. We just, as business owners, we got to do ready, fire, aim. And so you want to break your strategy into tasks and who's responsible for what, and making sure they know what they're responsible for and keeping them in their lane and making sure that they're executing. And this is really hard with certain personalities. There's one specific personality that really has a hard time doing things on the fly. That might not be the person that you have in your inner circle of executing tasks. Maybe they're a part of the support. And again, for those of you that don't understand the personalities, the art of communication, I cannot stress how crucial this could be for your success of your company right now, because you need to know who's going to be good at what task. And you can't put someone in charge of executing something that has this particular personality. They have to have all the facts, they have to have all the T's crossed and the I's dotted, they have to know what the whole path is. They can't move until they have the entire path written out for them. That's not who you want in your inner circle right now. You need to have people that can move quickly, change quickly, execute quickly. So again, break it into lists, divvy those lists up to your people, and make sure they're staying in their own lane and they're monitoring, they're keeping track of what these strategies are doing. And that's the next one. Execute quickly. We kind of covered that. Execute quickly. You aren't going to have the time to measure and do all the things. Execute quickly. But then you need to talk every morning. Talk every morning, again, conference call, talk every morning, what's working, what's not working, what can we be doing better? What do you see in the tasks that you've been given? What do you see happening, and do you see any better way of doing it? Make sure that they have an open line of communication with you, because again, they're in the front line handling that task, they're in the front line handling that task. And if they get a brilliant idea, you want to make sure that they feel comfortable and confident bringing that to you. So again, talk every morning, making sure that they know that they have an open line of communication to you right now. Let them know that they can call you, text you, and ask you anything, because it might be that they've got a client who wants to do this huge order, but maybe they can only do a quarter of it down right now. And that's okay, but they need to be able to reach you to make sure that that's all right. Or maybe you take a certain piece of equipment from this company that you would normally need anyway, but you need that service or you need that piece of equipment, they need your services, and you can do a barter. But again, your employee might not be able to make that decision, and they need to reach you right away. You need to figure out and formulate what kind of leeway that you give them, what kind of decision making that you give them. Protect yourself, but make sure they know that they have the opportunity to call you, reach out to you, send you a text, and say, is this something that we can do? So again, talk every morning and with your key people and look at what you were executing the day before and how it worked, and then adjust quickly. And that's the last part. Adjust. And you need to do it quickly. So again, right now, you've got to be built for speed because things are changing on a daily basis. Things are changing on an hourly basis. Again, nothing to be afraid of. Change freaks most people out. And, again, these are stressful times, especially if one of our loved ones is struggling in their health right now. But as business owners, as entrepreneurs, as leaders in companies, we have a responsibility to stay off the road of fear and anxiety and not be overcome by that, and take care of the employees and the people that are counting on us to keep this company alive over the next 20, 30, 60 days, however long this might take. So again, I hope this webinar has been helpful for you. This roadmap, we're going to recap and we're going to have the worksheet that you can download and have as a worksheet you can do with your key people. But I want, for any of you that need extra help and support, I want to be here for you. And we have that program that I kept referring to, Art of Communication, and it's normally $147, and I'm discounting it just for this group to $47. And that's for you and up to 5 additional leaders in your organization. So up to 6 of these Art of Communication programs where you can take the test, find out what your strengths and weaknesses are, find out what your communication style is, but then you can also have your key people, up to 5 people, take the test, and they know what their strengths, weaknesses, and their communication style is, so that when you're talking to a certain personality type, you know if you can be direct, you can be, you don't need to sugarcoat anything, you just need to deliver the information. This person, you need to talk slower. You need to reassure them. You need to tell them you believe in them. There are totally different personalities, and you can't treat them the same way, especially in times of crisis. So any of you that want the Art of Communication, go ahead and there'll be instructions on how to register and get those at the end of this video, how to get those programs for your team. And then also, I want to take some of my coaching and bundle it with that. For those of you that are really stuck on the other road and you need me to help you walk through this roadmap, and you need me to coach you and walk you through of what your assets are, and you're just right now, you can't see the forest through the trees because you're just in it. I want to be there for you. My normal coaching price is $300 to $500 an hour, depending on what it is. I want to be able to just step in and help you get through this. So I'm going to do a special price for $295, and that's 1 hour of coaching with me, access to me for the entire week via text or email, and also the Art of Communication program for you and your up to 5 of your key people. So that price is a lot built into it. And I really want to serve you right now. And if I can be of help, definitely I want to be. And if you just have a quick question or maybe a question on anything that we covered, just go ahead and put it in the comments and I will get back to you. And share this with as many business owners or as many people that you think would be of value. This is a free webinar. And if you want to let them have access to it, we're going to have this up for quite some time. Just reach out to me with any questions or comments. Or if you have solutions that I didn't cover, please add those in the comments. Let's come together as a community. Let's stand alongside one another and let's help one another excel in these tough times and keep our company strong for the people who are counting on us. So God bless, take care, and I hope this was helpful.